Today we're looking at Proverbs 6 verses 6 to 11. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. So on first reading this, it's a slightly unusual passage, but we have this real contrasted imagery between the ant and the sluggard. So we get the idea of the ant, firstly being really productive and hard working, with a lot of self-discipline. Doesn't have an overseer, but is acting on its own accord. And secondly, the ant seems to plan ahead and to understand the season, storing up its provisions in summer. But in contrast, we get the sluggard. You can almost sense a little bit of sarcasm in this passage almost. We have the contrast of the diligence of the ant in comparison to the laziness of the sluggard. The sluggard is avoiding any type of activity or exertion, so it's quite a contrast. So what's this passage trying to say to us? Firstly, it's emphasising that actually as Christians we are encouraged to work hard, which ties in with many other Bible references. For example, James 2:17 talks about faith without works being dead. Or in Colossians 3:23 about actually whatever we're doing, work at it with all our hearts. It's working for the Lord and not for human masters. But also I think this passage highlights the danger of laziness. When we see the sluggard, we get the impression it's describing someone who has the ability to work but almost refuses to. Someone who may lack the drive and personal responsibility to provide for their needs. They like to sleep and dislike work. When I read this passage, it kind of get the image in my head of like the sluggard just lazing around all day, just kind of sat there expecting everything to get done with actually not taking any initiative to actually get up and do those things. So actually, what's the challenge for us at this time? Maybe for some of us, it can be we can be stepping up more to the things we need to do. We can sometimes find ourselves in kind of a cycle of lazing around and putting things off and procrastinating. I know I've certainly had many times like that in lockdown, of just kind of getting up and then sitting watching Netflix for a bit and kind of putting off the things that I know I need to be doing. But actually this passage encourages us to actually not do this. It doesn't tell us we have to not do this, but it encourages us to not be lazy. Because sometimes we can just sit and expect stuff to happen, or even pray and just expect things to happen. But actually, can we look to the ant in this passage? Actually, in this passage we see the ant understand the season. And actually in the season we're in at the moment, I know I found motivation and taking initiative sometimes a bit more difficult than usual in terms of work. Maybe you found it okay. But actually, can we have that understanding of the situation we're in? And actually choose to consider what we're doing and be wise, to aim to be productive and hard-working and diligent in our everyday work, and also in our relationship with God and the amazing time we can spend with Him. To actually take action and work hard to honour God with our lives. But also I think it's good to highlight, actually this passage isn't just saying work all the time. It's guiding and encouraging us not to be lazy. But it's not saying to constantly be scurrying around trying to do everything and just working non-stop, kind of like the ant scurrying around all the time. But actually, I think it's important to highlight that rest is also really, really important. We see it throughout the New Testament that Jesus taking that time away from everything to rest and to pray and to take that time to just stop. I think that's so important to highlight, that that's really great to do as well. But I think it's also good to look that actually like laziness and just lounging out all the time, that's not rest as well. In this passage we see that actually working hard requires some intentionality about it, and intentional action, not just waiting for something to happen. And I think rest needs to be intentional as well, to put specific time aside to spend away from the busyness of everything that needs to be done, and to rest properly and to rest in God's presence. I think it's really important to get a balance of working hard but intentionally taking time away to rest. So I'm just going to pray. Let us really pray that you would help us not to be lazy, and actually in the things that the work that you have for us, Lord, that we'd be intentional with it, Lord, and we would just that we just work for you, Lord, work to honour you, and be so intentional with that and intentional with the rest we get as well, Lord. Pray you just help us to get a really good balance of working really hard and having that time to be refreshed and just to spend time with you, Lord. Amen.